Okay, here's a little demo for the touchboard. So the touchboard is connected to the computer. Now I go through various steps. The first steps is having the board sound picked up by the piezo only, so you have like just the sound of my hands on the board. You can use other material to pretty raw sound. Can be nice. It's nice if, for example, I add some reverb as an effect, something like that. Okay, but more than that, with the sound of the board only. Now I'm gonna add, I'm gonna use another sound, mainly when I'm touching the board now, I will trigger a bank of white noise, which is this one. Let's take the reverb off for a moment, and that's the white noise. I can reduce the sensitivity so that it only doesn't last very long, something like this. Oh, still, oh, because there is a reverb. Sorry, forgot. Take the reverb off. So now this is not the sound of my hands scratching the board, but is the sound coming from the patch triggered by the piezo underneath that sense my pressure and my movement in a way. I'm also adding a bit of a kind of a filter, a resonant filter that oscillate. Now I add a bit of reverb to make it a bit more wavy. And also change the sensitivity, because you see when I touch it, the attack is very hard. I want a smooth attack, so I change a parameter here to give me the ability to have a smoother attack. I can be really light with my hand without to bang. Okay, so that's too much. Now I add another different reverb, slightly longer. A longer tail. Again, this is just white noise, which I really like, but that's what it is. And now I'm going to turn the volume of the white noise off, and I'm going to load a bank of sound, some fragments from one of Lida's songs. Just I made a bunch of chunks of 45 seconds each. They're going to be read a bit randomly here and there. already running in the buffer here. So what I have to do is just turn the volume up here. And now when I touch the board, I'm pretty much opening the gate to allow that sound to come out. I don't have control on where I will get the sound at the point, in which point of the stems or the files, but I will play with that accordingly. I will add again some reverb, and I can add some filter, and I can add some white noise, so then the sound becomes a bit more complex. I like the reverb because if I don't use it, let's say I take it out, the sound at the end would be maybe a slightly, cut off. It's not too bad. There is a bit of a tail because I changed the sensitivity, but let's say leave a bit of the reverb to create some more depth. Whatever fragments of the file, even if I stop, the file will continue to read, so when I retouch the board, I will re-enter the sound in another point. Whatever that is. Clearly, if there are silences or pauses or very tails or some kind, then no matter what I do, doesn't matter if I touch the board, if there is silence, nothing will come out. But in this case I thought the sound is running all the time. So now is this different fragment. I'm gonna add some white noise just to see, not that I want to, just to show you how does it sound with mixing it with some breathy sound. Maybe a bit too loud. Let's keep it a bit softer so that it's not hiding, covering too much Alida's music. This is pretty much how it would work. Clearly, depending on what you feed into the bank of sound, things are changing drastically. Say I want to feed a very, very different kind of material now, which is pretty noisy samples, very short, and give you an idea of some possibilities. So just a question of engineering some sort of a sound material that then we can experiment with. So yeah, we can talk. I think soundscape, like environmental sounds or forest sounds, like crackly sound, can be really nicely broadcasted and touched with the board, so to say, to create some interesting soundscape within the set of the resonator or other sound. I mean, hopefully we'll have time to experiment. I have a bunch of sound in a bank, different things, and we can work with the leader stems. That would be nice, and create shorter samples that can change in a very rapid way, or just use one long sample that we just tap into gradually. That's another way to do it. Instead of using stems, using a long file that runs and in loop, can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and every time you touch the board, you enter that sound and activate that sequence or that section, and then when you don't touch it, the sound will continue to go, and then you trigger it again. So you kind of go in and out of a file, creating island of sound that then you can affect with the reverb or other kind of a sonic transformation. Okay, hopefully this helps to kind of get a sense of the magic table here, and I'll talk to you soon.